Hey there guys, in the previous rank 1 video that I posted for the Vision World, I got a lot of comments saying people either don't have the Avatar's chainmail, or you don't have the Mirror of Shatal, you don't have the Reflect Ring, etc. So we're going to be going back to do basically a similar clear that doesn't involve using the Avatar's gear. It also does not involve using any kind of reflex type stuff. Now, we're going to be swapping Ilmateal for Ash. That is definitely going to lower our damage a little bit. Not that much, honestly, but it is going to be a little bit less damage. You might have to roll more variants, but you don't rely on the chainmail and you don't rely on any kind of reflex stuff. So let's get in here and give it a go. It's going to be very similar to the previous clear with some small adjustments, and I'll explain them as we go. Turn chart will be in the comments, etc. Okay. So we're going to be doing the chain count score on the kill turn. So because of that, we don't got to worry about buffing the boss or removing breaks and all that. So honestly, for the first few turns, Tyvis and Genesis can just guard. Lena is going to do I Wanted to Go With You, Zidane's STMR. We're going to start Ash in the base form. Very important. Then we're going to go to the shift form, and we're going to do, let's see here, Hymn of the Faith. Which is Yuna's necklace, just to buff up Lena's damage a tiny amount. Rain will do 1,000 Needles. You could also summon Fenrir, but you know, whatever, 1,000 Needles is fine. And then Reagan is going to Defensive Barrier and break the boss with a Mountain Dive. As you can see, the clear is relatively similar to the previous run. The difference is we're using a magical tank. So because we're covering the magic damage, we don't need to worry about resistance on the party, therefore we don't need Avatar's gear. Ash is just wearing tons of resist gear because she's not a damage dealer. We don't really care. So this turn, Ash will do her LB, but not yet. Rain is going to shift and do his shifted LB to stack it up, but we're not going to chain it. So because we're not chaining the LB, we don't got to worry about things like buffing the boss, etc. So now we're going to use Ash's shifted LB. That'll be a 350 stat buff as well as a 150 machine killer for the party. We can again just guard Genesis and Tyvis, and then we're going to use the Ramping Amplify on Reagan. So again, some more stuff on turn 2, no big deal. Again, very, very similar to the previous clear. And we're going to be killing on turn 4 yet again. Okay, so this turn, we're going to get set up. So Genesis, the usual stuff, you know, whatever. Amplify, Preface, Tyvis is going to do all his modifier stuff, so Amp, Modifier, Modifier. Reagan is going to now do the breaks on the boss. We're going to Mountain Dive to break. We're going to fill his LB, and we're going to do his 89 break Magnus. Flaring Rain can do Infarega. We're going to do Burst, and we're going to do Armor Grant Me Power. And then Ash is going to give her single target 250 killer to Rain. Genesis doesn't really need it. Rain's our second best damage dealer. And unfortunately, Tyvis and Reagan will just deal less damage here, because now they have a worse killer. Genesis has a worse killer as well, so we actually might not even damage cap, but we should still get a perfect score. So here we go. So this turn, everyone's going to chain, but this is very critically important. First of all, let's go ahead and get ready. So we're going to do Purgatory on Genesis, SOB on Tyvis, go to the base form with Reagan and LB, shifted LB of Rain. Ash is going to go to the base form, and with the Irine's ring, we're going to quad Firega, Chaos Wave Awakened 4 times. That will match Lena's base form LB. So what we're going to do, we're going to send Lena and Ash together, and we're going to wait a decent amount of time. We need the field to register. So once the field is registered and active, when the chain count is about 20-ish, then we're going to send Rain and Reagan. Only Rain and Reagan. So send those two in a pair, Rain and Reagan. So Lena and Ash, wait till about 20-ish on the chain score, then send Rain and Reagan. Wait until you see them start moving. Once they start moving, then you're going to click Tyvis and Genesis. Otherwise, you will not have the good weapon in perils. That's the thing a lot of players I'm noticing are probably messing up, is they're like spark chaining their DPS all at the same time. Brave Exvius is a sort of buggy game. And if you just spark chain everyone at the same time, you won't get the 40% weapon in peril for Genesis, and you won't get the 40% greatsword in peril for Tyvis. So again, Lena and Ashe, wait to about 20-ish. Rain and Reagan, wait about half a second, then click Tyvis and Genesis. Your chain count should be 113. Your damage cap should be above the cap. So I'm going to pause the video until we get it, because we could still low roll and not get it. So see you in a moment. Alright guys, here we go. So we're going to chain that. We're going to wait till around 20-ish. Chain the rest, wait, chain these two. And that should be our hopeful damage cap. 113 count chain. If we did it properly, 24.58 billion or better damage. And we did, let's see here, 25.5. So there is our damage cap with no Avatar's gear. Now, I will tell you, that took me about 7 attempts to get a high variance roll to get that recording. This party is overall definitely less damage than the previous party that I had. This is definitely a good roll. So if you're copying this clear, keep in mind this will take you a few rolls, or you might get lucky the first try. But yeah, so we're using Ashe instead of Ilmateal to get our fire party clear in. So just to give you some brief overview, the damage range of Genesis is between 6.8 to damage cap. His average is actually only 9 billion, so Genesis got a high roll there. He doesn't have the 250 killer like with the Ilmateal team. Tyvis, his range is between 3.8 to 6.4 or 6.3. He got basically middle average. Reagan, his range is 1.5 to 2.1. He got almost minimum, but it's so low anyway. Lena is actually dealing damage this time. I didn't calculate the fact that she has the field still on her side. So her damage range is something like between 3.5 to 7. She did about average. Rain, his average is, 0.37 on Lena. Rain's average is between 6.4 to 9. He did a high roll. So there it is. There's a perfect score rank 1 without using avatars or any kind of reflection stuff. Definitely harder than my first clear. You're going to need a good variance roll to get that powerful gear, etc. But it can be done, as you just saw. So I'll show you the gear. Turn chart will be in the comments, etc. So Genesis is just pure damage. We don't need any kind of like mirrors or reflect ring or anything with this setup. So there we go. He's maxed on everything. And no one in the party needs any kind of resist gear, except for your tank. Tyvis is, here we go. His gear didn't change from my first clear. So there it is, preemptive LB, etc. I should have given his regalia to Rain. I didn't think of that. Whoops. Oh well, too late. Blaze of Black Flame Reagan, here we go. No real changes to the gear. And there it is. Shift form is using Titus's garb and then Rakshasa blade. Other than that, whatever, leftover stuff. Oh, and he's using the Fire Amplify card, which is giving him a Fire Amp. Lena in the base form is geared for damage. Now, we gave her the Dark Wizard Rod because she's not getting a sword in peril anyway because she's going first before Rain, so just give her the best weapon, whatever. There it is, maxed on stuff. And then shift form is, I wanted to go with you in some LB fill. Ashe is at 150 or better to fire, ice, lightning, and dark resist. I'm very overboard, but whatever. And then Irony's ring in the base form. Other than that, kind of whatever, literally whatever. I was like, through generic gear on her. Shift form is using Yuna's necklace to give Lena like, a little bit more damage. Every little bit helps if you're, chasing that variance, and there you go. And then Rain, in the base form, is using 1,000 Needles to do it on turn 1. Shift form, the Avatar's Tenet is just for the attack power. We're not using the special effect as you saw during the clear. I just don't feel like going and converting the recipe just for one video. Anyway, there you go. He's maxed on everything. So, okay. Turn chart will be in the comments. I'll see you in a bit. And by the way, what I should have done is, I actually didn't change my previous team all that much. I should have taken this off of Tyvis. I should have given him his special gear, because it also goes 500 attack power, and then I should have put that on Rain. And then I should have put, it doesn't matter, I didn't optimize the gear. I just took my old team and swapped like 2 pieces around. As far as other elements, like what if I don't have a good fire team? I tried a crystal team. It didn't work out. You know, maybe I'll play with it some more and figure out a way to do it. But the one that I did try, it was very short on damage, like really short on damage. It was doing like 18 billion. That's way too far off the mark. So I have to like go back to the drawing board with that one. I can't do a wind team. I don't have Zidane. I can't do an earth team. I don't have Snavlenka. I can't do a rebel team. I don't have lightning. I can't do a lightning team. I don't have Zac. So dark teams are just outdated at this point. We don't have the water leader. So honestly, fire is like my only option. And then ice teams are bad because Lastwell is garbage. So yeah, my only option, honestly speaking, is fire. So as much as I'd love to do lots and lots of videos for you guys, I just can't. I just can't do it. I don't have the units. And like I said, the crystal team did not work. Like not even close. It was just way out. The problem is the crystal party doesn't have a good field, and like the breaker is Lion, and Lion does so much less damage than Reagan, and Reagan's not even doing that much, but it's enough to matter. And yeah, anyway, the crystal party did not work at all for me, but I might try it some more next week. We'll see. Anyway, there's the no avatars, no reflection type goofiness. Clear. See you in a bit.